Hello students, this is going to be the second video of accountancy for partnership chapter. In the previous video I had covered a few topics, theory topics. So in the previous video I had taught you about the partnership, the nature of the partnership, the essential elements or the characteristics of partnership, the rights of a partner, and also the Limited Liability Partnership Act and the difference between the normal partnership and LLP Act. Then I had discussed with you the partnership deed and the needs of the partnership deed. The following are the important points that are there in the partnership deed. Then I had also discussed the rules regarding partnership deed. If the following rules are absent in a partnership deed, then what are the applicable rules? So this was the most important topic in my previous video, as because of this topic only we'll be able to start the practical portion today. So I'm starting here from here today. Recording of partnership transactions. Students in class 11th, you had studied about sole proprietorship, so you already know that a sole proprietorship usually prepares journal, ledger, trial balance, do the rectification work, prepare bills of exchange, and they prepare three important financial statements. The first one is trading account, the second one is the profit and loss account, and the third one is the balance sheet. So students, keeping this in mind, I'll further elaborate about the partnership accounts. Students, like sole proprietorship, partnership account also prepares the trading account, profit and loss account, and the balance sheet. I hope you all remember that whenever the profit was calculated, the net profit or the net loss was calculated in a profit and loss account. The net profit used to be written on the liability side of the balance sheet, right? So see, in sole proprietorship, the owner of the profit or the bearer of the loss is a single person, so the whole profit or the whole loss goes to that particular person. But in a partnership, as you're already aware, that there must be two or more persons be able to actually form a partnership firm. So when there are more than two people, or there are two or more people in a partnership firm, the profit and the losses are to be divided among themselves. So student, keeping in mind the theory of the sole proprietorship, you all need to understand that the partnership will also prepare the normal trial balance, trading account, profit and loss account, and balance sheet. But after that, the profit or the loss has to be divided among the partners, so they will have to prepare one more account. So the name of the account that they use to divide the profit and loss among partners is known as profit and loss appropriation account. Look at the format of this account. Profit and loss appropriation account, basically, see why the appropriation word is used. Appropriation word basically means to divide. So now we are dividing the profit and loss among the partners. So this is how this account is made. Please learn this format and draw this in your notebook. Profit and loss account, it has one debit side, one credit side, and you'll have to mention for the year ended. That would be given to you in the question. So how do we start this? We start this account by writing profit and loss on the credit side. So we start from here by profit and loss account, that is the amount transferred from the profit and loss account. So here we can write by profit and loss account, and we'll mention the net profit that we had actually calculated in the normal profit and loss account. And if the net loss was there, so we'll have to write it on the debit side. So now you remember the rules that I had discussed with you, the rules of a partnership deed. So students, basically the partners are given salaries or are given commissions, and they are actually, given interest on their capitals. And if a partner has made some drawing, the partner has to pay the interest on the drawings to the firm. So what is to be understood here is that whatever the firm is paying to the partners, it will be written on the debit side, and whatever the amount the firm is getting from the partners, it will be written on the credit side. So at the credit side we write by interest on drawings. See, the amount of drawings is not mentioned here. The amount of the drawings will be mentioned in the capital account, that we are going to study later. The only the interest, is written here. So suppose there are two partners A and B, so we'll calculate interest on drawings on their withdrawn capital, and we'll write it here. On the debit side, two salaries of the partners. Let's suppose A gets a salary, so we'll write to A's capital account and we'll write 5,000. So whatever the amount is given to you in the question. The second is to commission to the partners. Suppose a partner is getting commission, we'll mention that partner's name here. Now the interest on partners capital, A and B has definitely contributed some capital to the business, so A and B are supposed to get some interest on capital. Then to reserve. Student, this is the new word here. Reserve basically means the general reserve, the partners have kept for the research and development. Now suppose the reserve was not utilized during the year, so what is to be done now? That particular reserve, if it was not utilized, it will be divided among the partners. Let's say reserve was let's say it was 1 lakh rupees, so 50,000 was utilized and 50,000 is still in reserve. So now the partners are going to divide rest of the 50,000 among themselves as per their partnership ratio. Suppose their partnership ratio is 2:1, so they'll divide that remaining 50,000 among themselves in 2:1. So now at the end we'll balance this account. You know how the balancing is done. I had taught you in the in class 11. So the balancing is done, basically we balance the credit side with the debit side, and if debit side is less than the credit side, profit is going to be written on the debit side. And suppose if debit side is more than the credit side, it will definitely be a loss that is to be written on the credit side. So to profit transfer to A's capital account, B's capital account, students, here basically whatever the profit is left, after giving all the salary, commission, interest on partners capital account, and also after receiving the normal profit or after receiving the interest on drawings, the profit is calculated here, and the profit is to be divided among the partners and their respective capital accounts are to be written. In bracket you can see current account is also written. Later on, students, we are going to study topic there's going to be one topic that would be fixed capital and fluctuating capital. So later on I'll talk about why we write current account, but just now understand that we write A's capital account and B's capital account. Whatever the profit was there after balancing both the sides, we divide that profit among the partners, because partners are to be paid salary, commission, interest, everything. So whatever will be left after paying all that expenses, that only we do is to be divided among the partners. So I hope this much is clear to you. Now we move further on this very next page. It's written the journal entries to be put up. So I had taught you in class 11 how to prepare a journal from the ledgers. So ledger is given to you right here. See, you can see this is the format of the ledger. So how are you going to prepare the journal out of it? See, whatever is written on the debit side, it will actually go to the credit side, and we'll debit the profit and loss appropriation account name will actually debit. So just look at this. Whenever there is net profit, net loss to be written, how are we going to pass the journal entry? We'll actually just see at the credit side it's written by profit and loss account, so by side will become debit and the name of the account will go to the credit side. So it's written here. So all these are entries are drawn on the basis of the ledger. Either you can go learning from journal to ledger, or you can learn from ledger to journal, whichever way you find easier. Please do learn these, and these journal entries, they are very, very important. So you should know about these journal entries. I hope this much is clear to you. So you'll actually practice these journal entries. So for the timing, we just need to actually concentrate on this ledger part. Journal entry will actually talk about them later also. So right now you need all of you to need to learn the actually format of profit and loss appropriation account. So I move further. On the very next page, they continue with the journal entries. You can actually pass these journal entry with the help of the ledger. So now let's get back to the theory. Now there are certain features of profit and loss appropriation account. Let me just read it for you. It is prepared after profit and loss account. It is an extension of profit and loss account. Why do we prepare it, students? We prepared it to only divide the profit among the partners. It is prepared by only partnership firms. This is very important. It is nominal account. What do we mean by nominal account? Nominal account means all the expenses will be debited and all the incomes will be credited. So on the debit side, whatever the firm has incurred the expenses like salary of the partner, commission of the partner, or interest on the capital of the partners, it's written on debit side. And whatever the firm receives from the partners or from anywhere, they write it on the credit side. For example, interest to be received on the drawn by the partners, so it is written on the credit side. So it's a nominal account. It shows how the net profit for the accounting period is appropriate means distributed among the partners, this you know. Then the fifth point says entries in this account are made giving effect to the partnership deed or Indian Partnership Act 1932. So whatever the partnership deed says, that will be followed while preparing this profit and loss appropriation account. And if nothing is given, and let's say the ratio is also silent in the partnership deed, then all the partners become equal partners. So I hope you'll remember this much. So here this difference is given. This difference is very easy. You can just read it and write down in your notebook. This difference is very easy. You already know about profit and loss account, and I had just explained to you about the profit and loss appropriation account. So this difference is very easy. Please do read it and write down. Now let's read this important note here. It's written here: any amount payable to a partner such as salary, commission, interest on capital, except for the interest on the partner's loan. I hope students you remember interest on the partner's loan is important to be paid. If even the partnership deed is silent about it, we'll pay partner's loan at 6% per annum. I hope this much is clear to you. Also, the rent payable to a partner. See, these two things, partner's loan account and rent payable to a partner is definitely paid even if the deed is silent about it. It's treated as appropriation of profit and not a charge against profit. Hence, these items are to be debited to profit and loss account instead of profit and loss account. So you'll be wondering why this partner's loan account and rent payable to a partner was not written in profit and loss account, and why it is written in profit and loss appropriation account. Students, you'll have to understand there are two different things: charge against profit and appropriation out of profit. So you'll have to understand that these two things, partner's loan and rent payable to a partner, these are not charge against profit. That means you have not utilized these items against your profit, against your earning profit. These are items that are to be paid out of profit. These items, partner's loan and rent, they are basically liability on the firm. So liability of the firm will be paid out of profit. Because these two are liabilities, so they are not charge against profit, they are appropriation out of profit. So this difference is very clear. It has got 4 bases. Please do read it, and it's very clear. As you'll read, you'll get to know much about it. So let's now start with the illustrations. Students, you might wonder why we are going to start with the illustrations, why I'm not directly moving on to the unsolved questions. Students, because of the lockdown, teaching accountancy, it's a challenge for me, as well as it's going to be a challenge for you to learn also. Accountancy cannot be taught like this. So I'll try my level best to explain as much as possible, and it's going to be an instruction for you all. Please do solve all the illustrations in your notebook that I'm going to make you mark, and because of these illustrations only you will be able to solve the unsolved questions also. See, we might take 1 month or let's say 25 days to complete a chapter. That doesn't matter. Speed doesn't matter. You have to understand. That is the main point here. You will have to work hard for understanding. By now you must have understood class 11th and 12th accountancy are very different from each other, right? So you'll have to work hard. So please do follow my instruction and do all the illustrations in your notebook, which I'm going to make you mark. So in this very first illustration, they have given you a trial balance, and they have told you to draw all the final accounts of partnership. That means by drawing a trial balance, after drawing a trial balance, we draw trading account, then we draw profit and loss account, profit and loss appropriation account, and a balance sheet, right? So we draw all that. So right now it's not that important for you to draw this. You already know how to draw a trading and profit and loss account. You have learned this in class 11, so this is not very important. But yes, profit and loss appropriation account, this is very important. So now you'll understand out of this illustration that whatever the profit was earned here, 1,37,000, see it's written on the credit side, right? Because it's an income for the firm. So this being a nominal account, it's written on the credit side. So now the question had asked us to pay Bharti salary, right? So salary to Bharti as per the question, right? You will not calculate this on your own. It has to be mentioned in the question. So in the question it has been mentioned that salary to Bharti has to be paid 60,000. See, Bharti had been some employee of the firm, then Bharti salary would have been paid here in profit and loss account. But Bharti being a partner in the firm, so Bharti's salary has to be paid in profit and loss appropriation account. This point is very important. So interest on capital has to be paid to both the partners as per their capital ratio and as per their profit ratio. So it's calculated here. So this has to be also paid. So both the items are written on the debit side, being these expenses for the firm and this being a nominal account. So last, both the sides are actually balanced, and out of the balance we get 50,000. So 50,000 is divided among Aarti and Bharti in their profit sharing ratio, which is given to you in the question. So this much you have to understand. You already know how to draw a balance sheet, so this is not very important. So out of this question you just need to understand how a profit and loss appropriation account is drawn. So in the next point here is how to calculate interest on capital. So I'll just mention once again this to you. If the partnership deed account is silent, partnership deed is silent about interest on capital and it does not mention any percentage, so partners will not be paid their interest on capital, you know, if the deed is silent. And if the deed is not silent and it mentions the ratio at which partners are to be given their interest on capital, then it will only be allowed, you know. This is written here. So how do we calculate interest? You must have learned in your in your previous classes, the smaller classes, that P into R into T upon 100, right? Principal into rate of interest into time upon 100. So again this question is given to you. I see this question has been asked in ISC sample paper 2017. So basically start doing such illustrations in your notebook. They're very important. These small illustrations will help you to solve the big questions. So Arun and Barun, there are two partners. They share profit and losses equally. So underline this point, equally. Their capitals on 1st April 2015 stand 4,80,000 and 5,40,000. On 1st October 2015, they decided that the total capital of the firm should be 10 lakhs. So now both the partners have decided to actually decide the new capital of the firm, which is going to be 10 lakh, you know, and they are going to be contributing equally. See, this line is very important. So earlier Arun was contributing 4,80,000. now he has to contribute 5 lakh because new capital is 10 lakh. So both the partners will be dividing new capital into equal ratio because they're equal partners. So now the new capital for A stands to be 5 lakh and the new capital for B stands to be 5 lakh. But A is paying 4,80,000 and B is paying 5,40,000. So B is paying 40,000 more and A is paying 20,000 less. So how we are going to calculate these capitals, you know, how we are going to do it? See, the date is mentioned here. From 1st April to the 30th December, you know, for the first few months, for the first 6 months, the capital stands 4,80,000 and 5,40,000. And for the next 6 months, you know, that is from the October to the March. You know, the financial year starts from April to March, right? So on the 1st April, they have decided their new capitals to be, you know, new capitals to be contributed. So now from 1st October, the capital would be 5 lakh each. So now what are we going to do? We are going to calculate for the first 6 months the old capital, and for the next 6 months we'll calculate interest on capital on the basis of the new capital. And what is the rate given here? The rate given here is 6%. So what was the formula? P into R into T. So principal stands here 4,80,000, then rate of interest is 6 upon 100, and time remains for the first 6 months 6 by 12, right? So this is calculated here. It comes to 14,400. So similarly for the second part, that is the next 6 months, the next half yearly month. So now the capital for A is 5 lakh. So 5 lakh into 6 by 100 into 6 by 12, it comes to 15,000. So earlier it was 14,400 and now it is 15,000. So total interest on capital for A stands to be 29,400. Similarly, it is calculated for B. You know, this is very easy part. So now the total, as you can see, the total capital interest on capital for Barun is going to be 31,200, right? So this is very easy questions. On the basis of this question, you can actually go for the unsolved questions also. You know, I had told you this in class 11 that DK Goel has prepared the book in such a way that whatever the questions you solve in illustrations, there similar questions are given to you at the back of the chapter, right? So you can go for the unsolved questions as well. Now the illustration 3. Now the illustration 3 says A and B are partners and their capital account showed a balance on April 1. So their opening capital, April 1 is their opening capital, stands to be 4 lakh and 3 lakh respectively. On 1st August, 1 minute, respectively, I hope you know the meaning of respectively. Basically, A name falls first, so A's capital is going to be 4 lakh and B name is later on, so B's capital is 3 lakh here. So this is the meaning of respectively, that means in the order of their name. Okay, on August 1st, so how many months have been passed? Are passed April, May, June, July, right? 4 months. So the first time period for the first capital is going to be 4 by 12, and the next capital is actually changing on 1st August. So next is going to be at the 1 minute. Then there is one more change on 1st March. So next is going to be for 7 months, and the one that is changed on that is going to change on 1st March is going to be 1 by 12. So similarly, you will calculate as per this thing, and the rate is mentioned to you, that is 6% per annum. So as you can see this illustration is very easy. First the interest was calculated for 4 months, and then the interest was calculated for 8 months. That is from 1st August to 31st March. And B, sorry, I forgot to mention this, that B has withdrawn some money, some money. So now the B's capital is going to fall, you know. See, A's capital remain the same because A has not drawn anything out of that capital. So A's capital for the next 8 months remains to be 4 lakh for 50,000. But B has withdrawn 15,000 from its capital. So earlier the B's capital was 3 lakh. Now he has introduced 40,000 more, so his new capital is 3 lakh 40,000. But by the end of the year he has withdrawn 15,000, right? So we are going to subtract 15,000 from 3 lakh 40,000. So first, for the calculation of B, please try to understand here. It all depends on the question. Nothing is compulsory. Nothing is like predetermined or prefixed here. It all depends on the question. So for B, the first capital was constant for 3 months, 4 months, and then for the 7 months, and then B had withdrawn 15,000. So earlier the capital was 3 lakh 40,000. So now 15,000 has been withdrawn. The new capital remains for the 1 month is 3 lakh 25,000. So this question is very easy. Illustration 2 and 3, you know, you just can cancel the illustration 1. Illustration 1 will not fetch you much benefit. Solve illustration 2 and 3, and respectively they are unsolved portions also. So in illustration 4, what is given to you, read the question very carefully. A and B are partners and they share profit and losses in the ratio 3:1. Their capital at the end of the year, financial year, end of the financial year, it's mentioned here 2016 and 17. These year might change if you buy a new book or a new edition, you know. So it doesn't matter. You go as per your book. This PDF is given to me by the publisher, so this might be an old edition also. So please go through your book, whatever is mentioned in your book, please write that. So in the financial year 2016 and 17, the capitals were 6 lakh and 3 lakh respectively. During the year 2016 and 17, in that particular year, A has withdrawn 80,000 and B has withdrawn 40,000. So by now you know that when partners withdraw something from their capital actually change, you know. Then which had been duly debited to partners capital account. Profit before charging interest on capital was 80,000. So now the twist is here. It's a new kind of a question. It's mentioned here that before giving any interest on the capital to the partners, the profit was 80,000. So this means this 80,000 has to be written on the credit side of the profit and loss appropriation account. The same has also been credited in their profit sharing ratio. Okay, so B had brought up new capital 70,000 on 1st October 2016. See, B has brought something, but A has not brought, so the capital of A remains the same. So now the interest on capital is 12% per annum for that particular year. So now what is important in this question, students? As you have read the question, it's you'll be able to understand, since the interest on the capital is always calculated on the opening capital, and the question is not very clear about the opening capital, right? You students, you must all understand this, that the interest on capital is always calculated in the opening capital, but in this question the opening capital is not given to you. What is given to you? It's given the closing capital. So I hope you remember we had read a chapter in class 11, and single entry chapter, right? In that chapter I taught you how to go from a closing capital to the opening capital. So see, the closing capital is given to you. What are we going to do? We are going to add the drawings and subtract the profit out of it, and subtract the additional capital, and we'll get the capital at the beginning. So capital at the beginning is calculated 6,20,000 and 2,50,000, and now we will calculate interest on capital based on this opening capital. So always remember, the interest on capital is calculated on the opening capital. So this topic is clear to you. I hope this illustration is clear to you as well, and please do mark this illustration as important, illustration 4. It was very, very important. So by now we have covered these topics. So the next topic, the previous topic was interest on capital. The next topic that is here is interest on drawings. So now how interest on drawings are calculated? So once again I'll tell you the rule. If interest on drawings, if it's not mentioned in the partnership deed, so nothing will be charged from the partners. It's very, very important to understand this. If interest on drawings, the rate is silent in the partnership deed, it will not be charged from the partners. And suppose if it is mentioned, the rate is mentioned, then we will charge accordingly. And the time period, suppose if the time period is mentioned, suppose the partner withdrew capital on 1st August or 1st January, we'll calculate accordingly. If nothing is mentioned in the question and the question is silent about the time period of drawings, so we take an average here. It's very, very important to understand, students. We take an average here and we calculate by 6/12. See, it's written in the third line. In the absence of the date of the withdrawal, please underline this point. In the absence of the date of the withdrawal, interest should be charged for 6 months on the whole amount, because it will be assumed that the drawings were made evenly throughout the year. Evenly means it was equal throughout the year. The partner had been drawing equally throughout the year. We assume that. So for the purpose of solving the question, we assume the time period here to be 6/12 if it is not mentioned in the question. So now the next topic is type of partners capital account. Students, I had told you 2-3 pages prior to this that we oftenly use two words, partners capital account and partners current account. Why do we use such words? You'll be able to understand by learning this. There are two types of accounts, fixed capital accounts and fluctuating capital accounts. So just draw a flow chart here, that fixed capital account and fluctuating capital accounts, we prepare different account. If such type of accounts are mentioned in the question, we prepare different kind of accounts. Suppose the question says the partners are maintaining fixed capital accounts. So for fixed capital accounts, we maintain two types of accounts. One is going to be the partner's capital account and other is going to be the partner's current account. And for the second type, that is fluctuating capital account, if it's written one account will be maintained, that would be partner's capital account. So draw a flow chart here. So it's mentioned here, if the partners are maintaining fixed capital account, we draw two accounts, that is capital account and current account. So here the format is given to you, capital account and current account. This format is very, very, very important, because you need this format for throughout the partnership unit. You have got 5 chapters in this partnership book. So you need this capital account format for each chapter. So you have to really learn this topic. So as you can see, as many as partners are there, we'll draw columns for them and we'll divide the ledger into two parts, debit and credit. We'll write partners capital account, particulars A, B, C, particulars A, B, C, and will start the account from the credit side. Always remember that we start the account from the credit side, and it's always, if the point, if the account is positive, it closes on the debit side. See, if the profit is there, and profit is divided among the partners, never going to be the closing at the credit side. The account is going to start from the debit side, credit side, and it will end at the debit side. So partnered by balance BD and to balance CD. You already know BD means brought down and CD means carried down. Why do we write these words? We write these words when we balance an account. So the opening balance BD is written here. What is by balance BD? Whatever the partners have been contributing capital. Let's say A's capital was 1 lakh, B 2 lakh, C 3 lakh. So we'll write that capital here, and if anything was added by them, let's say B had again deposited 50,000 for his capital, so we'll write in that column, by bank or cash, whatever the word is given to you in the question. And whatever the partners withdraw money, see, now we'll mention here the partners drawing money, we'll write that amount on the debit side. So we'll write to cash or to bank, whichever means they have used to withdraw the capital. Okay, now we'll balance this account and we'll write balance CD here. So credit side and debit side will be balanced. So this is the format of the capital account. Now students, very important to understand. I'll give you a trick here to learn later on. Just try to understand this, that we prepare two accounts, right? What are we starting here? We are starting fixed capital accounts. Under fixed capital accounts, we prepare two types of account: capital account and current account. So capital account, it only deals with the capital, a new capital added, or the capital withdrawn. So this account talks about that. Now what is current account? Current account is the further expansion of the capital account. So again, the format remains the same. How do we start this account? We start this account by writing by balance BD, and what do we do? We basically write the on the credit side, we write whatever we are going to pay to the partners. Students, always remember, what are we going to pay to the partners will be written on the credit side, and whatever will be received from the partners going to be written on the debit side. So you remember I had told you about the scissors rule, catchy ka rule. Just look at this. Just look at this once. You remember, whatever is debit on one side has to be credited on the other side. I had told you about this rule in class 11. So just look at this format. What is given to you in this format? This is given to you, right? See, to salary, to commission, to interest on partners capital account. So this is all written on the debit side, right? But now we are preparing capital account. So these all the debit items of the partners appropriation account, P&L appropriation account, will be written on the credit side of the partners capital account. So that scissors rule, the catchy rule here applies. Just look at this. You'll be able to understand when you go through your book very carefully and just compare these two formats. You'll be able to understand easily. So see, whatever was there on the debit side, we have actually mentioned all that topic on all that items on the credit side, and whatever was there on the credit side, we have mentioned that item on the debit side. So I hope this much is clear to you, right? We here mention on the debit side to balance BD. Why do we write to balance BD? You might be thinking, ma'am, why it is written balance BD on the both the sides? Suppose students, just any partner has positive balance, so that we are going to write on the credit side. But suppose any partners have any negative balance, so we will start that partner's capital account from the debit side. So it will totally depend on the question. Two drawings means whatever the drawings have partners made, and we'll charge them interest in the next item, and then we'll actually balance these accounts and we'll write to balance CD. Similarly, the accounts balance. So this is the fixed capital account. So remember students, under fixed capital accounts we prepared two accounts: capital account and current account. So now I'm going to give you a trick to learn it. Under fluctuating capital accounts, so fluctuating means there is going to be, the name here actually confuses a student. Fluctuating, you might think that two accounts are drawn. No, for fluctuating only one account is drawn, and that account is known as capital account. And now you will be surprised to see that this capital account is basically the summation of these two accounts. See here, the capital, the drawings, or the additional capitals was mentioned separately, and all the other items are mentioned separately. So under a fluctuating account, all those two accounts are summed up. So what is happening here? We start with the credit side by balance BD, and then we write whatever the additional capital has been introduced by any of the partner, by interest on capital, by partner's salary, by partner's commission, by partner's P&L appropriation account, anything that is shared by the partner, right? On the debit side, we write about their drawings, their interest on drawings, or anything that the partner actually withdraws out of the profit. So we balance that. So now you should be able to understand the capital account under a fluctuating thing, under a fluctuating kind of account is summed, is the summation of the normal capital account plus the current account. So here the only one account is drawn. Okay, so I hope this much is clear to you. I know students very it's not easy to learn through video. Accountancy is a very practical thing. But what we can do, actually we can't stop learning, so you have to learn. Now the difference is given to you. If you can just keep this difference for the later on thing, and we'll get back to this later on. Okay, this is not that important. You by now you must have understood that fixed capital account, there are two accounts drawn, and under fluctuating account there is only one capital drawn, one account is drawn, that is capital account. This much is enough for you to understand. Okay, now they talk about the capital account and current account. We'll get back to this theory later on. I'm not telling you to leave this theory portion, but I will get back to this later on. Okay, so now right now I'm concentrating more on practical portion. So I want all of you to practice as much as you can, and please do write all these illustrations and solve unsolved questions in your notebook, and send me the pictures of it through G Suite. Okay, now illustration 5. So in illustration 5, it's already mentioned here that the partners are going to prepare fluctuating capital. So fluctuating capital means the partner is going to draw only one kind of account, that is going to be the capital account. So what is the purpose of this question, students? Just read the questions from the downward portion. We are supposed to here prepare profit and loss appropriation account and partners capital account. We have to draw two things. So how a partner appropriation account, P&L appropriation account is drawn, right? We can draw out of this. And now the new thing is that the partners capital account is to be drawn, because the partners have got fluctuating capital, so only one account is going to be drawn. So the journal is given to you. The journal is not that important. Leave this journal portion. Journal we can actually draw from the leisure part also. Just leave that. Now concentrate on this part. The profit and loss appropriation account is given to you. See, now you'll be able to understand more. Whatever is given on the debit side will be written on the credit side of the partners capital account. So this they have actually tried to solve this question here, and they have balanced the question and given you some working notes also. So I want all of you to solve up to illustration 5 right now. Okay, so I'm stopping this video here, and would be telling all of you to ask your doubts. Students, don't don't feel shy to ask doubts. If you do not want to ask your doubts on the group, you can just message me on personal chat, and I'll try to solve your doubts to best of my ability.